Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Here's a overview of my desk. We are planning on having to take this out, as this right now is also now the future home of the nursery. So I just wanted to kind of show you some of the display stuff I have here. Got some Funkos there, Super Troopers, Smokey the Bear, Forrest Gump in the military uniform. Got some FDNY equipment, Park Ranger stuff, Forest Ranger. Got some Tonka firefighting equipment for Christmas, I believe. So, I believe that's a CIA truck there. New Jersey State Police. Game warden for Indiana. The movie set for vehicle for Terminator. Some of my awards I've got with the sheriff's office. You guys have probably seen this before in my Matchbox display, but a specialty license plate from the 75th anniversary of the Florida Highway Patrol. I believe that's a North Carolina badge there, like a collector's item there. But that's not what this video is here for. I've been trying to do this video for quite some time. None of you guys notice on YouTube. It's never been publicly made. If you're not sure what this is, it also goes in line with this. If that's not giving you a clue. This is a hard subject. This isn't very easy award to announce. You think you'd be excited to announce this, but unfortunately, the circumstance behind it isn't the greatest. So bear with me. Also, I just had some dental work, and I'm not 100% with the talking mouth stuff. So, but I wanted to do this. Like I said, we're going to be transitioning this office into a nursery, so I don't know if I'm going to have another chance to do this video. So, but obviously, American Red Cross, if you guys don't know, provide training for lifeguards. They provide training for first responders, CPR, first aid, AED use. They have different levels of tiers of training. And my full-time job, nothing with the sheriff's office, because the sheriff's office, I believe they do their own in-house training. They don't do it through American Red Cross. I believe theirs is set up with American Heart Association. My full-time job, which again I really don't talk about, I am trained by the American Red Cross in both CPR, AED, as well as first aid. And it's a little bit more advanced than just your regular CPR class that you may take at your school or even the sheriff's office. I think the class is not as long as American Red Cross as I get here. So, but in the event that you actually have to use CPR or AED, which, you know, in every class you sit there and I'll never have to use this. I'll never have to. I hope to never have to use it. And obviously, you know, that was kind of my mindset. I never thought I would ever have to use this. I knew that first aid part, yeah, I've used that quite a bit actually, but the actual CPR part, I didn't. So, but I paid attention, and I, you know, every 2 years you have to get recertified and stuff. So, I'm not going to show you what's in here, but I will show you the actual award, and I'll also show what's here. This will be my guide as what the award was, and I'll read that out to you without naming names. But obviously, when you have a life-saving event, an event that you have to save somebody's life, and you're nominated by, in my case, I was nominated by my instructor, American Red Cross will award the Certificate of Merit. Obviously, my last name is covered. That's why the piece of paper there that normally wouldn't be there. This is signed by the President of the United States, as they are, I believe, a honorary head chairman of the American Red Cross, each president. And obviously, you can read there for the selfless and humane actions sustaining a life. Issued by the American Red Cross headquarters in Washington, D.C., President of the United States, Donald Trump. And then I cannot read the chairman there. Looks like possibly the Brian. I'm not going to butcher that, but that's the actual certificate here. That's framed, that it was provided by the American Red Cross. And let's go ahead and open metal here. So they do provide you an actual medal, as well as a life-saving Award of Merit. I may actually put that in my uniform. I have another medal that was given to me by my aunt, and I wear that one quite frequently on my Class A uniform that I wear at the sheriff's office. I don't wear it with my full-time job, as we pretty much wear like a Class C uniform all the time. We don't wear a dress uniform very much or at all. So, but that's the life-saving award. That's the certificate of merit. Now, why did I get this? And I'll go ahead and talk about that here. And like I said, this is a rough story for me. It does have a happy ending at the end, but it is a rough story. So let me get that set up here, and then we'll go over that. The citation reads, Howard, on September 15th, 2019, Howard trained in American Red Cross CPR AED for professional responders, helped to save the life of his father, who became unresponsive in a residence in his home. Howard heard his mother screaming for help as his father was found lying on a bed with agonal breathing. Howard called 911 and was instructed by the dispatcher to check for a pulse. Howard then proceeded to initiate CPR for 4 minutes until EMS arrived on scene. Without a doubt, the skills learned in American Red Cross Training Services course helped to save the life of his father. For this act, Howard has been awarded the American Red Cross Certificate of Merit. This is the highest award given by the American Red Cross to an individual or team of individuals who saves or sustains a life by using skills and knowledge learned in an American Red Cross Training Services course. Their certificate bears the signature of the President of the United States, who is the honorary chairman of the American Red Cross, and the signature of the chairman of the American Red Cross. This action exemplifies the highest degree of concern of one human being for another who is in distress. As you heard, that's like several years, 2019. I actually didn't get this award until I know COVID was happening. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend in person. It was a Zoom call. And then after that, it took a while. I believe a hurricane or something happened in Texas, Louisiana area, and our particular local American Red Cross was dispatched out there. So it did take me some time to actually get this physical merit and medal and certificate and everything. But so as you heard, I I just moved back in my parents' house. I had taken some time and was staying with my at the time fiance's grandfather's house. He had some issues where he needed basically somebody to be there with him, just to make sure he was okay. He did have some episodes of falling and stuff, so at that time I was at that house. So I had was staying with him, and unfortunately it did come to the point that I had to, he had to go into a nursing home. So I ended up moving back in with my parents, and I believe that was, I'd only been there maybe a couple months after moving back in. It was a Sunday morning, September 15th. That date will forever be etched in my mind. I thought I was dreaming. I was dead asleep in my bed, and my mother was screaming, and that actually woke me up. And it took me, of course, you're woken up suddenly like that. It took me a while to figure out that something wasn't right. And again, I thought it was a dream. However, the minute my mother said, "Something's wrong with your father," I immediately jumped up. I actually took about 3 steps, 4 steps towards the door, realized I had left my phone on the nightstand. So I turned back, grabbed the phone, and let me back up a little bit more. The screams and the knowing his history of he has diabetes, he has some heart issues, heart disease issues and stuff. He's had open heart surgery in the past, and he's had some stents and stuff. And the way my mother was screaming, and the way she said what she said, I knew that it was not a good situation. So that's why I knew that I needed my phone, because I wasn't sure that she would be able to handle uh, calling and giving accurate directions, and knowing what was going on. So I ran into my parents' bedroom, and my dad's. His head's towards the head of the bed. His legs are almost like he was trying to get up out of bed. And basically, all I can describe is he's gulping like a fish. I had learned agonal breathing, but for whatever reason, what I saw him doing and what I was told or taught in class, to me, it wasn't coming out as the same. Everybody kept saying that uh, it'd be like a snoring, it'd be this, it'd be that, and his was, it was like he was taking deep breaths of air, almost like he was having a seizure. He wasn't really sweaty at all. He wasn't, sorry about the noises. I think I'm hungry here. It's getting dinner time. But he wasn't sweaty. He wasn't, and unfortunately, he was not responding to me at all. I think I tried to conduct a sternum rub on him just to see if it would wake him. I immediately, just off the bat, knowing what I knew, his background, I had already, one hand was already calling 911. This is the county up from where I live now in Orange County. The dispatcher came on the phone. While I think I'm talking to her, I almost had one hand. I know for a fact I had one hand. I grabbed my dad's arm and ripped him off the bed, again, knowing that you cannot perform CPR on a soft mattress. So I'm ripping off the bed without grace. It was no, I was least worried about his head and stuff. I'm sure his head hit the ground. His legs and his rest of his body kind of hit the ground a little hard. And I believe the dispatcher had asked, hey, check for a pulse. I'm rambling off the address as well, and I think I rambled it off a couple of times. And then she said, obviously asked what was wrong. She said, father's not responding. It appears he's breathing, but I can't tell. And I think she asked for check for pulse. I'm checking for a pulse. I feel nothing. I'm not getting anything at all. And again, it looks like he's taking very, very, very deep breaths. I could tell his tongue's rolling around. It was almost kind of rolling out of his mouth, way to describe it. And now I'm knowing that this is like a major, massive heart attack that she's having, experiencing. So I checked for a pulse. I'm not feeling any, and I don't think I even checked it that long. While I'm doing this, I'm also trying to grab. He has nitroglycerin pills, which helps to open up the arteries. He takes these when he could, like I said, he's had blockages and he has pain. And I'm doing it again, all of this by one hand. I think I tried to do this as before I got him off the bed. I was going to pop one and try to get it in him, but unfortunately, knowing that time was the essence, I was having a hard time getting the cap off. I didn't do that. I don't know if that would have helped, if that would have worked, but unfortunately, wasn't able to do it as well. So didn't find a pulse, and immediately perform chest compression, start CPR. My dog, to this day, and I say this all the time, she wasn't crying, she wasn't barking, but she was, to me, it was screaming. And my mom, I think she knowing that the paramedics and the police would be on the way, she put the dog on the back porch. You guys have seen videos on my puppy. Put her on the back porch, and for whatever reason, that scream, that blood curdling scream of Copper, that sticks to me. That I remember that. My mom, amazingly enough, was very 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 calm, and I began chest compressions. Uh, I bits and pieces remember the dispatcher counting for whatever reason. I think she was trying to keep the pace. I wasn't paying attention to that. I'd hear 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it would fade off. I think honestly she was just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She wasn't doing. I was trained at that particular time. I was trained 30 compressions to 2 breaths. I believe it's changed. I haven't actually gone for the course again. This year I will be going for 2022. I'll be going back for the course. First time since this actually. So I am actually expired at the moment. But at the time that I was trained, it was 30 compressions, 2 breaths. And the very first round, I know for a fact I messed up. I think I ended up counting almost to 37, I think, instead of stopping at 30. I tilted my dad's head back, and what made me, and again, I wasn't sure because I had never experienced this, was the gulping, uh, he was trying to gulp for air, and I'm like, well, why am I going to do breaths on him? And he's already, but I waited till he pretty much was in between his gulping, and I was able to put in 2 breaths into him, and I jumped back into compressions. That time I did stop at 30, and again gave two rounds of breaths, and then back to compressions. And I believe I did at least 3 rounds of compressions and breaths when the first paramedics arrived, which was Seminole County. Engine 14. These guys are great, and we never did get to meet with them. And we definitely want to meet with them, so I'm going to be copying them on this as well. But if you guys are listening or watching this video, my dad's doing great, by the way. Obviously, I get this award, but we do want to meet you guys. But so, Engine 14 was the first engine to arrive, and I'm in the middle of a set of compressions when they arrive. And I begin to keep an eye on them. They're bringing in the gear, and they're setting up the gear. They have a defibrillator they're setting up, and one of the firefighters, I guess, I don't know if he didn't realize, or I remember him looking, and then he kind of waved me off, but they were still kind of setting up, and then next thing you know, he jumps down and begins compressions as well. And I don't know if I guess he knew how long I had been doing it, and obviously uh, the rule, the thumb is you let the next person higher training take over. So obviously a paramedic has higher training than I do. So he immediately jumps down. He starts doing compressions as well. His partner begins getting the machine ready. Luckily, my dad had already had his shirt off, so we didn't have to tear or cut it. Anything of that. They began attaching the pads onto him, and basically they, like you see in the movies, staying clear, and they shocked him. And basically, as far as I know, I'm a little fuzzy on some of those details, but they shocked him once, and he woke up magically. I mean, it was just like instantaneously woke up, and the firefighter says, "Hey, you're here. We're with us." And I guess I think my dad kind of said something funny. He goes, "Yeah, I see I'm late to my own party, I see." And no recollection. It didn't know what was going on. Didn't know, why there was firefighters standing in his bedroom. Didn't know why he was on the ground. And so they let him sit there for a few minutes, and I think they explained that, hey, we found you unconscious. Your son just did CPR on you. Now I'm kind of sitting on the edge of the bed, watching everything, kind of cooling myself down now at this point, because now the emotions are still running high, but it's starting to catch up to me at this point now. So Um, they by now I believe the engine arrived, or excuse me, the rescue arrived, and they've got the stretcher brought in. Apparently, at some point, a deputy snuck in when I ended up walking out with my dad. There happened to be more people standing in my living room or my parents' living room than I've realized. So they actually set him up and stand him up onto the on the ground and on his feet, and they pulled the stretcher underneath of him. He sat down, and that was it. That was, they rolled him out, and at that point, uh, I'm in a bit of shock. My mom, uh, I think she immediately starts getting ready, or she may even walked outside. And again, that gets fuzzy. I know for a fact I didn't walk inside, or excuse me, outside. I didn't walk out with the dad. I just remember walking out after he's been rolled out, and I saw deputies in the living room. I immediately jumped to the shower. It's like, okay, we got to go to the hospital now. At this point, we're not sure, if anything else is going to happen. And I think that's what maybe my mom had done, or she may have gone out and asked where y'all taking him, and it hadn't actually been in the hospital locally there, thank goodness. And the shower's where I lost it. I absolutely broke down in the shower. Not so much a panic attack, if you want to call it that. It was just like, holy crap, this could have gone two ways. Either this wouldn't happen, this award, this life saving award wouldn't have happened, and a wooden box would have been ordered, or he made it. This happened. And that hit me. That was probably the point where it hit me the hardest. So I'm in the shower. I believe my mom at this point had also gotten in the shower. We secured the house. We head over to the hospital, and we walk into the emergency room, and everybody is stopping, congratulating me, and I'm like, what's going on? And the word hero kept coming out. Oh my gosh, you just saved your dad. Oh, you're amazing. You just did this. You saved your dad's life. And I immediately started breaking down again, and it just started crying, and I was like, no, I didn't do anything. I said that the firefighter's the one that got him back. I said I just basically kept him alive, or kept him to have a quality of life if they were to bring him back. That's all CPR is. You guys don't realize, or may not realize, CPR doesn't bring a person back. And that's why I said, I can pump on somebody's chest all day long without the either medication or the defibrillator. That's what brought my dad back. I just made it that he wasn't any other further issues, brain dead, or any of the damages to his organs and stuff. Your organs start to die without the oxygen. So after that, apparently we did find out that he was in VFib, which basically I believe that's when the heart is quivering. It's not really pumping. It's kind of, it's doing this. It's not pumping, letting in, letting out, letting in, letting out. It's just it's basically quivering. That's the only way I can describe it. So if you guys don't know, VFib, you can shock. If a person's in afibrillation, it will not shock, or at least an AED machine will not shock a person if they're in AFib. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm a little rusty with stuff, but like I said, I do know he was in V-fibrillation. His heart was just quivering, was not pumping. And I believe I might have that backwards actually. Anywho, he went to AFib in the ambulance. AFib, I know for a fact, is only treated by medication. So they had started to administer medication in the ambulance, and he ended up wasn't out of the woods even in the ambulance. We found that out later. They actually didn't have to rush him to the hospital once they got him in there and realized that we're not out of the woods yet. So they rushed him. Luckily, the hospital, everything worked out perfectly. The hospital was less than 10 minutes. The fire station was obviously less than 2 minutes from the house. And thank goodness that particular day or that particular morning, it happened right at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., September 15th. And I had to go back and look at my phone and everything. I was able to look at that, what time I hung up. Like I said, it was right around 4 minutes of CPR, which isn't, they train you to go a lot longer in class. So 4 minutes was, and I felt okay. I wasn't tired at all. So that's how this became to be. It's been hard. Matter of fact, today my father is back in the hospital. He's actually been in the hospital, in and out of hospital quite a bit in the past couple of years since his incident. He's okay. They're trying to figure out if they have another blockage in his lower extremity and stuff. So they got to work on getting that worked out. But he's doing okay. He actually now works for the same full-time job that I do, and just started that in October. He worked elsewhere before COVID, and I'm not going to go in details with that, but after COVID, he wasn't hired back or let go from that position. So, yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys like this long story. This is going to end up being over probably 30 minutes. I've broken this video up multiple times. So, hope you guys like this video. Subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions. Make sure you guys go and get certified. I don't care if it's for American Heart Association, Red Cross, your PE teacher teaches it, your school. I think a lot of colleges have started introducing this program of teaching CPR. It is a very valuable tool. Like I said, I'll be recertified hopefully by next month. But it can save someone's life, and you may never know. It may be your best friend, your family member, your child, babies. We did have another coworker who had to perform CPR on his own baby, not even, I think, 6 months old, had to perform CPR. That child did survive as well. So, like, subscribe, and catch you in the next one.